Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope we are audible. Can you please confirm whether the audio and video is fine so that we can start this very, very important session, which is demanded by a lot of students that, sir, almost 40 days are left for the INICT exam. Then what should be our strategy? So today I'll be joined by none other than Dr. Thameem Saif. And I think sir is the person who has probably the maximum experience about the AIMS pattern and the AIMS exam and what should precisely be done in the last 40 days to take a very, very significant jump. So in this session, you will not see me talking much. I will hand it over to Dr. Thameem that what is his viewpoints about the student whose primary motive and the primary aim is to crack the INICT exam, how the last 40 days should be utilized. But before that, I need a confirmation from everyone. Please give the thumbs up if the audio and video is fine. Sir, welcome.
Hello, Rajat. Always a pleasure to be chairing a session with you. And it's been, I think, more than a decade that we've been doing these kind of sessions together. So always a very pleasant feeling.
So I'm also very, very happy and excited. I do not know why. The moment I see your face, there is a different level of energy that comes to me. And I'm sure that these students are also experiencing the same level of anxiety and energy. So let's hope for a great session. Yes, sir. So, sir, the exam is on 9th of November. So if I'm just gonna put it, I'm gonna say approximately 40 days are left for the exam. Let us go back to your days. Let's say you are writing the exam, then what you would have done in these 40 days.
Yeah, I think the way I think we'll handle this, Rajat, is we'll divide it into three brackets. Those who are students who are already given the NEET PG exam, who have got a seat and who are waiting for the counseling. If they are interested in giving INICT, what they should do. Those who are not very happy with their ranks in NEET PG, what they should do. Those who are preparing for next year NEET 2026 and what they should do for this INICT exam. So we'll divide it into three brackets, and I think we'll start with the first bracket. That is those who have already given the NEET PG exam, who have got a decent good rank, and they are awaiting the counseling. Now, for this particular group, first let's address them. Those who already got a decent rank and you're waiting for the counseling, I think you all know that definitely the institute are far superior to most of the peripheral colleges. So I think when it comes to AIMS Delhi, PGI Chandigarh, NIMHANS, and at least two, three peripheral AIMS are far better than any peripheral college that you can take in any subject anywhere in India. So always it's going to be a amazing thing to get into an institute. Now, as far as the people who have already cracked the exam, means you have already given the NEET PG, you got a rank, you're waiting for counseling. Remember, in my experience of 2.5 decades, I've seen one good rank that you get. After that, you're going to be in a phenomenally different frame of mind when you approach questions. The ability to eliminate options, your ability to have confidence to back your answers is going to be at a next level. So you have a very high chance of cracking the exam if you really give it. Now, what happens generally at this phase is I was just talking to one student yesterday. He was telling me, "Sir, I'm thinking of giving an ICT because the counseling, we don't know what's going to happen when it will happen." So, and he was telling me, "Ki, sir, I have not done anything now. From past so many days, I'm totally out of touch." So what I can tell you is, see, once you got a good rank, no, that confidence is going to take you to the next level. That's one. Secondly is 40 days now you have, I think 43 days if you leave today and you take the exam day out. 43 days I think is a very good number of days to give a decent attempt for anybody. So to get back in the groove, I would say just start with giving a GT, then start looking at the questions, start doing the previous year questions. The rules don't change. The format is still the same. It's still previous year questions. And in this, in fact, I can tell you INICT is more predictable than the NEET exam. This is because the INICT is, set by select number of people, whereas NEET is the board. I mean, number of people who are making sending the questions very vast. In INICT, because only select people are making the questions, what they like, they like. What they don't like, they are never going to ask. So the width of questions or the zone that we are focusing on, the spectrum is not very wide. So you just have to, it's more predictable actually INICT. So if you really focus and you give a proper attempt, I think 40 days any exam can be cracked. So how I would suggest you to do is, first of all, start with the GT first. Start doing the previous year questions from the marrow. Then start revising any subject that you think you just want to get the groove of it fast. Look at the one shot; they're all available in YouTube. Then rapid revision videos I think are an excellent option in any subject that you think you're still having some weakness or you've forgotten stuff. So rapid revision videos are going to plug that zone for us. ultimately the pattern of revision, obviously you have got a seat already, now you are only in the revision mode. So for the revision, the plan is generally the same. It's a 60-40 ratio. I would suggest 60% of your time in a day should be the theory, 40% of the time should be questions. Again, when you plan for revision of the 19 subjects, remember that 60% of your energy and time should be for the pre-para subjects. Remember, INICT focuses a lot on pre-para subjects compared to final year subjects. So the pre-para subjects give 60% weightage and 40% weightage for the final year subjects. Don't forget the step USMLE step one first aid. If you cannot read the whole book, at least the biochemistry part of USMLE step one first aid, I think is going to be very, very useful for cracking the exams. So I think this is a general plan that we should look at for those who have already given the exam, who have got a decent seat. I mean, you are waiting for the counseling. I think this is what you should plan. Rajat, shall I continue and finish off for
Oh,
those who
yeah.
are?
No, no, sir. So, the two, 3 points that I just want to summarize for these students who have joined late. So, one thing that you have said that the fundamental difference between INICT and the NEET exam is that because the limited number of faculties are making the paper in INICT, so maybe you can say that the less number of topics are asked, but in more depth. And in NEET PG exam, we can say that the more number of topics are asked in less depth. And that is why you stress the importance of previous year question. I still remember my time when you guided me and you told me that, Rajat, if you're thinking about the AIMS exam, that it's not the question that you have to memorize. Whatever choices that they are making next year, they will pick up that choice and they will give the question from that particular choice as a standard question. So 2 3 points, sir, I just want to add on to this. When you're talking about the previous year questions, what is your recommendation about the set number of years that a student should go? I normally say that more number you can do, the better it is, obviously. And usually what we say is the 7 year questions, that because in the 7 year cycle, the broadly that all the topics are gonna be coming again and again and again and again and again. So the eighth year is same as what has been asked in the last 7 years. But in the 40 days, what do you recommend? Do you recommend that all 7 years should be once again seen, or they should limit to 5 year or 3 year, because every year there are two exams?
Yeah, so I think minimum 3 years is what we always recommend. And if they can extend it to 5 years, that will be just great. But what I've been seeing from the last 2.5 decades is every 3 4 years, sometimes they repeat a lot of questions. So, but then the most important, as you suggested very correctly, is first they'll introduce a topic. Like for example, type 1 diabetes, a new drug has come called teplizumab, and that is creating waves now. So last time they asked about staging of type 1 diabetes. Now they are going to ask about teplizumab, the drug itself. सो जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, पहले वो विंडो खोलते हैं, बाद में डोर खोलते हैं, बाद में छप्पर फाड़ के पूरा वो होलसेल पैकेज विल कम. So first they'll start with small, just introduction of the topic, and then they'll ask in more detail in the next exam. So I think what you told beautifully is correct, Rajat. I mean, the thing is, the last few exams are most important. The last exam is the most important. Then importance wise comes the November INICT last year, and then after that I think last 3 years. So what they need to do is create custom modules and start looking at the AIMS tag. I mean, INICD tag if they put and they start doing those questions. I think that will get them in the groove.
And yeah, so sir, another question that I want to add that I keep on getting, ki sir, previously it was an AIMS exam, not an INICT, Institute of National Importance. So there used to be a PGI paper, there used to be a JIPMER paper. So do I need to focus on the old PGI papers also, and do I need to focus on the old JIPMER paper also, or maybe NIMHANS paper? What is your view on this?
Actually, we've been keeping a close tab on all the kind of questions that have been coming from so many years. And what I can tell you is it looks like AIMS Delhi is complete control of the question paper. I don't know if anybody else is involved or not, but the kind of questions that are coming seems to be in the territory of AIMS. For example, if you look at physiology, AIMS is focused on respiratory physio more than renal physio. And if you see the last so many year questions also, you'll see respiratory physio is more focused than what we generally say to students, renal physio. In AIMS, it's more of, respiratory physio, and they seem to be doing some work on blood pressure. So they are asking questions on BP also. So there are some topics that I think are relevant in AIMS, and what they're interested in, they really focus a lot on that. So I would say it may not be, that useful to do questions from say JIPMER or PGI. Anyway, they are more than 5 years old now papers. I think first they should focus on the last 3 years of INICT, and the last 1 year at least is the most important. Then last 3 years. Then if they have time, look for the last 5 years.
Sir, you are always known for predicting some of the topics. So can you predict some
I
new
think we'll
topics?
show the slide. I've sent you the slide. We'll show the slide in a minute.
Okay,
I
let
just
me.
want to finish off for those who have seen, we've talked about three brackets I was telling you. We finished one bracket of students who have already got a rank waiting for the counseling. Now, should they give INICT or not? That we covered. Now we're talking about the next set of people, those who are not very happy with their NEET rank. Now the thing is, I've seen some people feeling if I cannot get through NEET, I'll definitely not make it in INICT. That I think is a very wrong thing. This is because the question paper when it is factual, it really doesn't test your conceptual knowledge. And if your ability to eliminate options is good, then and if you're having memory issues, see most of us have memory issues. We forget stuff. We forget factual stuff. So since the paper and NEET was more kind of factual, I would say there's always a very good chance if your concepts are good, you can always give a try in INICT. It's a more predictable exam. It's more easier to prepare because select topics are very limited. They just stay focused on that. So those of you are not happy with their NEET PG rank, I would say don't be disheartened. Don't say कि NEET PG I could not do. How can I do an INICT? They're totally different exams, and one exam need not necessarily reflect your results onto the next one. We have seen people who are not done well one in one exam and do extremely well in the other exam. So it's always very much possible, and that self belief that you can do it is the most important thing. So you have to have a firm belief that it is crackable, it is doable, and the thing is very simple. The rules are very simple. Just stick to the previous year questions, do rapid revision of your class notes, and just fill up your gaps by one shot and rapid revision videos wherever you have lacunae. And if you do this and if you look at the step 1 first aid, I think you're in the game. So give a sincere attempt, and if you really prepare with focus, there's no reason why you should not get through. So one more thing, at this point, I've seen ki one of the issues that commonly we discuss is ki I've seen people tell me ki sir, I'm just not able to stay focused. I'm getting kind of fatigued out. Now, the if you are see everything, we have a solution because we have almost lived our life now, discussing about all these things. So the issue that some people have that they are not able to stay focused, they start reading and then their mind gets diverted. I think one of the correct methods of reading is what we call the Feynman technique of reading. This recall based method. What you do is, let's say you have a topic. Let's say you're talking about say any random topic. Let's say paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria. So first, before you read the topic, just write, recall what you know about it, or if you can write down, that will be even more better. Just write down a few points. First of all, is it inherited or acquired? Where is the defect? What are the clinical manifestations? How do we diagnose it? What are the treatment? If you just write down a few points about it, if you don't know, then you start reading it. When you start reading it, because you already in your mind looked at what all you remember, chances of getting diverted will be less. Means your mind jumping and this thinking about something is going to be less likely. So if your problem is your diversion, means you are getting diverted too often, then the correct method is write down a few things about the topic first, then read the topic, then again write down whatever you have read after that. So this way, this recall method is supposed to be what we call the Feynman's very popular technique of reading. This will ensure that you can remember long with lesser effort. You can actually convert to long-term memory more. So I think this method is one very good method that you should start following. It will definitely get you the results. Secondly, there are some people who keep telling me, sir, my GT scores are stuck up. I'm just getting the same score. I just don't know where I'm going wrong. I've already done one revision. Still, my GT score not improving. If your GT score is stuck, there are two main things that you need to do. First of all, identify around 5 to 7 subjects that are losing marks in and create a 2 hour window period to work on those subjects. Number one. Number two is whatever choice you're getting attracted to, start reading about those choices. For example, you have a question, you have A, B, C, D choice. You answer choice C. The correct answer is B. Now, obviously, the explanation for the correct answer will be there. But if you can read a little bit about the choice that you're getting attracted to, the reason why you're getting attracted to that choice is because you have limited knowledge in that zone. So the more knowledge you have about the choice you're getting attracted to, next time you'll be able to eliminate them. So this I've seen these two techniques generally work in improving your GT scores. Okay, this is going to get you the results. So the formula is same, stick to previous year questions, try to do 3 years or at least 5 years, then do rapid revisions of your class notes once. Then don't have this feeling that NEET PG you did not do well. The INICT is going to be same story. They're totally different exams. They're totally different methods. One good day, proper refreshed method. Sometimes, once you have got exhausted in one exam, the next exam you approach it in a more fresh of, a better frame of mind. So how you give the exam and what happens on that day is totally a highly variable situation. So don't put all your think because I didn't do well in NEET, my INICT also is going to be like that. There's no connection between the two exams. They're totally different.
Yeah. No, I mean, I hope that in the first 10, 15 minutes, you have summarized almost everything. Sir, one more question that I want to ask that I keep on getting as an INICT, that we all know that first aid is a very important book for an INICT paper. But it looks like a small book, but it's not a small book. First of all, the information that is given is very tiny print. So overall, the content is very exhaustive. So, what is your recommend that how one should incorporate the first aid in the preparation if they are targeting INICT?
I remember still, Rajat, I used to carry the step one first aid in my class when I used to enter the classroom, and I used to hold it in my hand. This I'm talking about 2000, in the year 2000, 2001. So it was very thin book at that time. Slowly over the years, it's become thicker. See, the ANAT notes that we have. See, it's step one first aid is only first year, second year subjects. It's ANAT, Biochem, Physio, Patho, Micropharmac. It's a theory book. They know MCQs in that. What's the benefit is it's a collection of all the important MCQs that have come in USMLE. They have put it into one sentences and they are giving good mnemonics to help you remember. So since some of our exams do pick up from MLE questions, it's a very good book to help you cover all the MLE stuff actually. Now, as far as what you should do in that, see, our anatomy is next level. Dr. Ashwini, as you know, is kind of a legend in the subject of anatomy, and Dr. Nasir is amazing. Dr. Praveen, our subjects are so good that I don't think you need to look at any book, including Step One First Aid. But I think if you can at least do biochemistry part, I think you're going to find it very beneficial. But if you can do the whole book, there's nothing like it. But at least where your weaknesses are, I think those topics you need to focus on and go through once.
Yeah, I mean, so I see, according to me also, I mean, doing previous year questions, writing a GT and doing a first aid, and more focus on the pre and paraclinical subject than the clinical subject. These are the basic keys towards the INICT. If you don't want to watch this but entire session of us, and if you just take these key aways, then you're sorted.
A few
I
more
can.
subtle differences, Rajat. Let's highlight those also. See, although the same body is conducting both the NEET and the INICT, but INICT, they expect the students to be sure about the answers. If you mark a question for review, they may not count that for scoring for INICT. That may not be the case for NEET. NEET, if you mark it for review also, whether you marked it correct or wrong, that will be scored. So in INICT, they expect you to be confident of your answers. So do not mark factual questions for review. Remember, factual questions, first feeling that you get, any memory based question, first feeling that you get is going to be what you're going to answer anyway. Looking at it second time actually may make another choice more attractive. This human nature. So let's say Bigelow's ligament is seen in knee joint, ankle joint, hip joint. Vaguely you remembered it's seen in hip joint, you answered. Then if you look at it for some more time, then you may feel maybe it's the shoulder joint. So point is, don't look at a factual question again. In fact, don't mark it for review. Secondly, if it's a conceptual question, you can mark it for review. You can come back to it, but and you can change the answer also. But for a factual question, stay away from marking for review. Number one. Number two, any question in which you can eliminate two options, that question should be answered in INICT. Like how we tell in NEET, any question that you can eliminate a single option, you must answer in NEET. In INICT, any question where you can eliminate two options, that is 50% probability, you must answer that question. So make sure that each block you don't leave too many questions. At the end of it all, in these 25 years, generally those who attempt more tend to have a higher score than those who attempt less. So this is broadly the thing, at least for those who are really aiming for single digit ranks and top scores. I think higher attempt, if you have a doubt, any question which you can eliminate two options, basically it's open for answering. You must answer that question.
Yeah. Sir, but just on a joking way, don't you? I mean, I also say the same point that the factual questions are coming from the subconscious mind. So whatever answer that is coming to your mind for the first time is usually the correct answer. But on the other hand, don't you think so that it also depends on who is thinking? If Dr. Thameem is thinking, probably what the answer that is going to come to the subconscious mind will be a correct answer. But if somebody has not read well, like you have mentioned about Bigelow's ligament, I don't know. Probably people like me would have thought that it is in ankle joint. So,
No, I mean, no, the idea is should we mark for review or not?
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's a general
No,
guideline.
no, that's a very valid point. But I think somehow we have to keep thinking about this that because a lot of time these are the afterthought that come to the exam that oh my answer got wrong because I changed the answer. And I feel that biggest reason that happens is because you review only the wrong answer. You don't review the right answer. And if you want to review the wrong answer, these are the common thought that is gonna come to your mind that oh I changed it and that is why it went wrong. So, I mean, those are the, but yes, I think I agree with you. I believe that answer of any question should only be changed that if after reading the question you find a new information in the question. If there is no new information that is coming to your mind, then whatever answer that has come to your mind for the first time, let's go ahead with that. But yes, that's a very, very important point to note that the mark of review is not counted in the INICET, and it is counted in the NEET exam. And also, obviously, not to forget that NEET has 25% negative marking and the INICET has 33% negative
33%.
marking. So you have to be slightly more careful about the wild guesses that you are taking. But still, even after that, I feel that the attempt should be very, very, very high in the system. Sir, do you want to add anything before I ask the next question
I
to
think
you?
just we can go through this the doubts they are asking, Rajat.
Yeah.
Anything that you feel?
Um, what is the approach to data-based question for the INICET? This is a question that Adarsh has asked.
Pardon me?
What is the approach to data-based questions for
Yeah,
INICET?
yeah. See, factual questions. See,
Hmm.
that's the problem. See, factual questions is either you know it or you don't know it. And the whole thing is during your preparation, whenever you see it, you should always feel this, okay, I'm never going to see it again. Now only have to solve it. And you have to find some imaginative way to remember it. So the more imaginative way you can utilize to remember, it should not be some basic mnemonic like PPP or TTT. That will never work. So it should be some kind of good imaginative way. Either it's a name of a drug. In the name of the drug, you find some way to help you remember it. What is the mechanism of action? So basically, the more imaginative you are, the more better technique you can find to remember. Ultimately, this is the game of how much you can remember and what imaginative way you can think of remembering it. So I think there's no other way. Factual questions, the only thing is your proper notes and repeated revision of your notes. If you're reading haywire everywhere, you're not going to succeed. If you're trying to do too much material from too many, see, if you go to Telegram now, everything is available. And it's not about how much is available, what you can use and what is actually beneficial. You should stick to that. This is the reason why we say, don't do multiple sources. You're not going to be successful if you're trying that. So I think just sticking to a one source, repeated revision, that's the main thing. And in that repeated revision also, whatever you feel skip it. What you think you are going to forget, only focus on that. And if you already created 20th book, great. If not, at least you would have highlighted the PYQs in your class notes.
Sir, I mean, a few students are mentioning that the notification has not yet come. So, do you think the exam is going to happen on the allotted date? Yeah. So, I don't think that I have ever seen, apart from one incidents that has happened in the second wave of AIMS COVID, when the AIMS has postponed the exam. So don't let these things come to your mind. The exam is going to happen on time. They have a time. They will announce it in the next few days to come, right? So, sir, how to cover PYTs? This is a question that a student has asked.
How to?
Cover previous year topic.
Yeah. So see, as far as the previous topics are concerned, I think best is to open your class notes and go through it. If you have your class notes, that is. But at least you should read the explanation given in the app. So that is bare minimum. If you still have a doubt, then I think anywhere Google or whatever. I think any method that works. But the thing is, every previous year topic, in fact, every choice in your previous year question, at least something about it you must know. Okay, some of those choices itself can become the main question next time. So I think each topic, each thing, every choice in if you can go through, that is always better. Something you wanted to
Uh,
add, Rajat, about that?
No, no, sir, I think done, sir. I'm just reading the question and I want to answer that myself. Maybe I will ask your opinion also on that. Uh, Abe has written, made a mnemonic to remember the side effect and I forgot the mnemonic. So this is something that I speak a lot about it, about the mnemonics, and I always take some examples of that. See, mnemonic reflect your thought process. So there was a very, very famous saying in Maulana Azad Medical College when I was studying, and the statement was, the mnemonic reflect the thought process of a person. If you really want to select a boy or a girl for you as a life partner and you want to really know their nature and their exact thought process, just identify the kind of mnemonic that they make. So, and you will exactly understand their thought process. So, you can't memorize somebody else's mnemonic, right? The mnemonic should be something that your brain should not put an effort to remember that. Because the idea of making a mnemonic is to connect the dot with the brain so that the brain can recall that information in a relatively easy way. The biggest example that I give is that there are in radiotherapy, there are emitters which are called as pure beta emitters, and both beta and gamma emitters. So, sir, I used to remember them with the name of my professor, YP Serene Gill. Right. So now it is very easy for me to remember YP sarin is yttrium, phosphorus, strontium, and Gir is gold, iodine, 131, and radium. But now the problem is if I'll tell this mnemonic to a student in the class, he doesn't know the name of my professor. He might have a pseudo confidence, oh, now I know the mnemonic, now I know the name. But after 5 days, he will forget the name of my professor. After 2 months, he will forget my name that I have taught him radiology. Leave the name of my professor. All he will remember, koi radiology faculty was there, and it is his professor's name. And the fight is not the beta emitter and the beta and gamma emitter. The fight in the brain is going on. What was the mnemonic? So always try to develop the ways that matches to your thought process that you should not put an effort to recall, right? And the best way to remember something is with a logic, right? If it's a concept behind it, if there is a concept behind it, I always say that this has happened with me in my exam. The question was asked, what is the half-life of technetium 99M? Sorry, this was asked in my own all India exam, and I forgot whether it is 6 hours or 6 days. All that I remembered was six, and then I kept on thinking R days, R days, R days. And if somebody would have taught me this when I was preparing for my exam, that it's a radionuclide agent that is gonna inside the body and it is gonna come outside the body. So the half-life has to be the one that is short because you want it to be eliminated from your body for a longer time. I would not have a confusion. I would not have done that particular question wrong. So the rule is very, very simple. Try to remember something in a way that matches to your thought process. The way that you will be able to get it easily is much, much faster. Sir, you want to add
So
anything to this?
one point, Rajat, is that just because you have perverted mnemonics doesn't mean a negative reflection on a person. Actually, sometimes, I feel
So
if you
then
go out
how
of
do
your
you know?
natural
How do
way,
you know that?
no, actually, if you go out of your natural way, extraordinary things help us to remember more. So if you are normally a very decent kind of person, if you make some perverted mnemonics, that's okay. If a person is already perverted mnemonics will not help him actually.
Sir, this was just a joke. I mean,
So my point is, somebody's made some mnemonics that will help them to remember in any odd way. They don't have to feel guilty or negative
no,
about it.
but why they should feel a guilty, sir? No, it's not about anybody to. If somebody has a perverted mind, that doesn't mean that they should feel guilty. Not at all.
Yeah,
It's about the thought process.
true.
So there are a lot of questions that I have now. Let
Sure.
me just. Is covering paraclinical subject at least is enough? I just completed face-to-face classes. Sir, yeah, this is a very important point that I wanted you to address. There are a lot of students who have started now like a lot of students with us have started. I mean, they finished their internship in April, May, and they started with the classes with us in June, July, and they have barely finished their first reading. Some of them are in the middle of the reading; they have not yet finished the first reading. They know that this exam is not their target. The primary exam that they're targeting is May INICET exam or November INICET. What is your advice to them?
See, bare minimum that they should do. Those who are preparing, those are actually targeting NEET 2026, and you might have just finished a few subjects. So the bare minimum you should do is just at least two INICET papers. If you can do for six INICET papers, that is 3 years, that will just be amazing. So just do the INICET papers, that is the previous year topics. And if you can just revise whatever subjects have been done till now, I think that should be a very good plan. Whatever subjects that have been done till now, just revise them. And if you can do two papers, great. If you can do six papers, I would say that will be an amazing plan. Just do six INICET papers and go. And if you get a decent rank, let me tell you, the kind of confidence you'll have to give the next PG exam is going to be really at a next level. So even if you get a fairly decent rank, I'm telling you, it will boost your confidence like anything. All we need sometimes is one good rank. The way people approach MCQs change after that. So don't take it lightly. And one thing I can always tell you, always make sure that you give the exam. Means at whatever be the cost, don't miss this INICET, whether you're prepared for it or not. You might say I'm targeting the next NEET exam. Doesn't matter. I would say every exam teaches you something. So definitely give it. And if you can prepare few papers for INICET, at least previous year questions and go, I think you're in the game.
Yeah. Sir, there is a question Sameer has asked. I will also answer that. I am tempted to watch lecture videos again and again, and if I didn't get good marks in a particular subject, or do you think that this is not a right approach and I should solve more of MCQs?
This is a very, very wrong approach and time tested technique. हाँ आप बोलो रजत.
No,
Uh,
I think we are on the same page, sir.
time tested technique
This was my
is
answer as well. Yeah.
write your notes, revise your notes, and recall your notes. वो भी बहुत important step is recall. If you don't recall, all the reading that you do is useless. Remember, the most worst technique is watching videos all the time and hoping that you're going to benefit. Even if you watch a video 3 times, your amount that you can hold and recollect on the exam is going to be very, very poor. This is not a time tested technique. So, if you may watch a video once to make notes, that's okay. Once you have your notes, then you should read it and recall it. And I was telling you the correct method to read it is you should try to see if you can know a few points before you start reading the topic, then read the topic, then recall whatever you've read again. If you can do this, this is the correct method of studying. This will help you with least distractions, and it will help you convert to long term memory in the shortest possible way. But this is going to take effort, because this is not going to be easy. It will be exhaustive, it will drain you, but this is the correct method of reading. So one thing that I've seen some people do is morning till night passive reading. They do just keep watching before the exam. I don't think that will help in any way. You may watch once to make your notes, fine. You may watch once, maybe one shot, let's say, just to fill up some past topic you have not, you got, like for example, people like we need PG 1 month, they are so involved in counseling, now they want to get back in the groove. I think you can just go through one shot videos, rapid revision videos, then start your preparation. that that is okay. But watching videos only without reading notes, without recalling, without doing questions, very wrong technique, and it will not benefit.
No, no, absolutely correct, sir. I believe that any class, any any videos, you should definitely attend them, definitely watch them, but once to make your notes. And once you have created your notes, your idea is to summarize them. The idea is to consolidate them with every passing reading. Idea is to solve MCQs, identify that where are you going wrong, where are you missing onto a particular concept. And a repeated video can only be seen for limited area where you are completely missed that particular topic, either in the class or maybe during your first reading. But repeatedly watching that video again is not something that I will recommend, unless you have seen it in third year of MBBS and 2 years have passed and now you are an intern or a post intern when you are looking at it. That's how I am gonna
वैसे तो
also
स्लाइड बता देंगे हम
talk
लोग.
about. हाँ sir, I am coming on to that, sir. um, so that I have left it to the climax now. Okay, so there is a question that, sir, what about mid rankers in the NEET PG? So, Akhila Bache, I will say that first of all, I am still figuring it out that what is the meaning of the word mid ranker, because the terminology changes from student to student. I come across a lot of student at 2000 rank and they come and say that I am a mid ranker, right? On the other hand, I come across a lot of students with 60,000 rank and they also come and say that I am a mid ranker. So I do not know which mid rank are you talking of, because the expectation of a student vary from the way that you are prepared for the exam. I believe that if you got a rank in 10,000, you are getting a clinical seat. So you're mostly sorted with the exam. Now your primary purpose of writing the INICET exam is an improvement in the rank, right? And improvement maybe in search of a better college. Most of the time you are getting the things that you broadly wanted, except the college that you might be getting, right? If you cross 10,000, then the chances of getting a clinical seat goes slightly up, and then you are thinking that you want to change your subject completely, and then you're writing the INICET exam. The moment you cross above to 20,000 rank, then chances of getting a clinical seat again goes further down, and then you do not have an option. If you can't take a seat by paying some amount or some what we call as a category B seat, or the different names which are given by paying 8 lakh rupees, 15 lakh rupees as the cost per year. Again, that's not a very, very big cost, but it depends on the financial status. Then you might have to repeat, and then that's an area that you have to target. But the moment you cross 50,000 or a 40,000 score, then predominantly you are preparing for the exam. I believe that the moment you cross 50,000 rank in the NEET exam, that means there was some challenge with your overall broad concept, or maybe you have not covered all the 19 subject, and then your predominant focus should be first to cover the 19 subject very, very thoroughly, because I believe that in any exam your predominant aim or this competitive journey should end at a time when you think that you have reached to the highest of your potential. And with highest of the potential, whatever rank that you have got, you should be satisfied with that particular rank, and then you should move forward in the life, right? So that is how your entire journey should be taken. Having said that, whatever exam that you're writing, you should write it with the full spirit. As this is my last exam, this is the maximum possible hard work that I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna go for it, right? So that's all I'm gonna say with this. Now, before we go forward and take your doubts, I am sharing the my screen, sir. I hope it is visible. So
Yes, yes.
these are. I hope it is visible, sir.
Yeah, these are some of the important topics that I've listed from medicine side. And I think these are the trending topics now. So feeling is that, some of these might come in the exam. I think TB is always an important topic. So drug resistant TB, HIV prevention, HIV treatment and prevention, they're asking in INICET of late. I think cardiomyopathies is, I think MAVA Chem 10 we're expecting question. We're also expecting, see, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, for example, is generally going to come with an ejection fraction that is normal or increased. Means it comes with heart failure with preserved ejection fraction. But now they are also telling that sometimes the LV can burn out and you can get heart failure with reduced ejection fraction also in HOCM. Finally, I think arrhythmogenic cardiomyopathy, some new thing they've added, like, arrhythmogenic cardiomyopathy, we used to tell only right ventricle affected. Now they're talking about LV type of arrhythmogenic cardiomyopathy also has come up now. So these are some of the new things added in the recent edition of Harrison. I think GLP-1 receptor agonists and gliptins are the current trending anti-diabetic treatment now they are going to ask on. They are also talking about something called placebo and nocebo. What is placebo is, if you take some, say, sugar pill or something, and if you think it's going to make you feel better, the mind makes wonders like, this is a placebo, but you'll feel better. But the same way, if you're taking something and somebody tells you that it's bad for you, it actually going to make you worse. So that, although that is a harmless drug, but it actually starts making you feel bad. Like you got a snake bite, it's a non-poisonous snake, but if you feel it's poisonous, then you're going to feel very sick. You get the symptoms. So that is what is nocebo. So I think placebo, nocebo, new terminologies that are there. I mean, nocebo particularly, I think they can ask in exam. Immunization and desensitization, they are also trending topics now in the recent edition of Harrison. As new kind of drug has come now called potassium competitive acid blocker called vonoprazan. This is in place of proton pump inhibitor. I think very important drug this time. And then hidradenitis suppurativa. So some questions, because some of these topics are trending now. I think that's why I thought I'll just mention it. These are, I think, at least a few of them you can expect in the coming INICET exam. The rest of it, I think we're going to be covering in our one shot. So in that, hopefully, if you can see, we'll be covering some of the important
No, no,
topics that
I'm
will be
very, very
coming.
sure, sir. There will be at least 3, 4 uh, rank differentiating question that you can expect from that. Sir, I've also prepared a checklist of some of the topics from all the subjects. I mean, obviously, this is not the full list, but if you are going to the exam, just make sure that these 100 topics you have done. And this is a list from all the 19 subjects that we have done. So I can share this list. It's you can take a screenshot of that, or I will share it as a DM on the Insta if you will send me a message there. So I have put up 5 topics for each subject. Just make sure that if you are going for the exam, then you are doing and you are just doing a tick box that yes, these topics we have done. In some of the subject, I have not written a small topic, rather I have added a whole unit, like in pharmacology, anti-cancer drug or anti-diabetic drug. Rather than putting up a drug, I have written it. Just make sure that that box is completed. In micro, I have written mycology and parasitology rather than putting onto this. But these are some of the topics that you should take upon to make sure that your frequently, what I call as a FAT, frequently asked topic list, is completed. One shot is coming, bache, on 2nd of October. I think this time it is from 2nd of October to 10th of October. And I think you can contact your center. It is exclusively for DBMCI students. I don't think that we are doing it uh, open, making for all but the NEET one-shot program is going to happen as a standard program. But this one-shot program we are doing from 2nd of October to the 10th of October. You can reach out to your centers to get the more details of one-shot program, right? So,
So
Bachit,
Rajat, I
nothing is.
think finally, before we wrap up, just a few words. I
Yes, sir.
think finally the same thing as we keep saying, ki if you want to have a dignified life, there are some sacrifices that are required, and I think the time to give sacrifices has come now for most of us. So I think if you can really push in 43 days, I think is an amazingly good time to give any exam. If sincere preparation is done, proper focused attempt is done, I think there's no reason why you should not be able to crack it. Once you get through a few months of, it's just a month of effort, next 30-40 years in your life will change with this 1 month of proper effort. So in the galaxy of stars, many of you are going to be shining in the future. Hopefully we'll be taking your interviews in the coming. We'll announce your name to the world that you are arrived now and you have succeeded. So we are looking forward to that, to those days when we'll be taking your interviews. So my advice to you is just don't give half-hearted attempt, push yourself more, give 100% effort, don't regret later. Just 40 days now, if you can really pack a proper punch, there's going to be amazing result. And as I told you, the result, the harvest of the fruits, I mean, it's not going to be 1 year, it's going to be for year after year after year for so many years in your life. So best wishes to all of you. Rajat, I'll hand over to you. Any final
So I
summarizing
think,
points?
sir, as I told at the beginning, that this was your session, and I was just an interviewer who was taking students' doubt and telling it to you. And just a word of motivation, guys. I mean, see, till the time you're not able to achieve something, that you will keep on having the self-doubt, right? And once you're able to reach to that particular climb, then you realize that you are the one who are able to do that. Because never forget that the people who have achieved that were one amongst us only. The people who have achieved that had 24 hours only. The people who have achieved that had the same ways that you are doing it. If somebody else can do it, you can also do it. And if somebody has never done it, then still remember, you will be the first person who will create it, so that people will take your example that yes, somebody has done it in the past, right? That is how I have always lived my life. That yes, if I have to do something, I will do that particular thing. Even if somebody has not done it, I will do it. And because there is no other option, there is no other option, that I have to do it, and I will not stop till the time I'm able to achieve that particular task, right? With this note, we will stop this session. We will pray from the Almighty that you all get the ranks that you deserve, and you will get it on the basis of the hard work that you have done. These 40 days can make a significant change in your preparation. Try to use it in the best possible way, and may God be with you. May all the blessings are with you. If you think that we can do anything for you, please do let us know, and we will try our level best to do it for you. All right. That's all from our side. Thank you very much for watching this session, and may God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajat. Thank you so much, everybody.